Good morning, GM. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, everybody.
It's hump day.
Hey.
Hump day.
Is it Wednesday hump day or Thursday? I'm so lost.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, good to know. Now I know. I've never known, it's been always a secret people have kept from me. So now I know it's hump day.
Well, I understand people keeping secrets like that. Generally, I tend not to tell anyone what day it is unless it's Friday or Saturday. Because let's face it, on Sunday, we start getting depressed that the next day is going to be back at doing the things we don't want to do, like paying bills and having responsibilities.
It's funny you say that. I saw a TikTok yesterday and I was almost crying where it was like when you realize tomorrow you have to get up and do it all over again. And
Oh, yeah.
and I thought it's funny. Like I think it's funny to see those TikToks. Sometimes I want to repost them, but I also don't want people to think I think like that. I'm like, no, this is just my humor, but I'm glad other people share it too.
Listen, I just personally think our sense of humor may be dry, it may be sarcastic, we may think other people aren't going to understand us, but usually there's a lot of really twisted people in this space who get us, people who think like us.
I totally get that. I think it's very funny in my on my day job. I'm a software engineer, and my team, we are a product team, and my whole team, we have the driest sense of humor, and it's amazing because we all get each other to to such a deep level. But maybe someone from a different team joins, and they're like, "Wow, this team is not like having as much fun as the other teams, but we are. It's just that we all have the same humor, so it's great for us."
Amen to that. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cute. Welcome to everyone who's joining. My name is Gigi. I'm here with an amazing panel, an amazing co-host, and then if you haven't joined the space before, thank you so much for joining. We do this space to talk about just the amazing experience and journey of ladies that are joining us on the space. We want to highlight and empower women. And to do that, we want to share their story, right? Because how else are you going to empower someone if you don't let them show who they are and talk about their own experiences? So today, joining on the stage, I'm going to be presenting each one of them before we start. So for our amazing co-host and recurring co-host, we have Crypto Girlfriend, GM Crypto Girlfriend. Tell us about
Good
yourself.
morning. And yeah, with the whole tech, we're so reliant on tech that yesterday I had to run out and get myself a new laptop because my laptop completely died on me. And I'm like, why is this happening? I'm launching my NFTs this week. Of course, it's like the most inopportune time that this kind of stuff happens, right? But
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I am so
There's
sorry.
there's never a good time.
but I
Never.
got my new laptop and now I'm just setting up all of the softwares and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, I'm Crypto Girlfriend. I'm primarily a promoter for the Binance Smart Chain. I've been promoting projects on the Binance Smart Chain for over a year now. And since I'm such a BSC maxi, CZ himself follows me. So I know he likes to follow people that heavily support Binance and the Binance Smart Chain. And, I decided to jump into this NFT arena and learn about NFTs and been learning a lot the last several months and launching or minting on my website on this Friday. So it's exciting and scary, all of those things all at the same time. But yeah, cryptogirlfriend.art is my website. So check it out. There's giveaways going right now. I'm actually doing one with CryptoTechWomen partnership where we're giving away whitelist spots for both of our projects. So check out our Twitters and then you can check out more about the project and wish me luck.
Thank you. Can everyone here just give Crypto Girlfriend some hundreds for support? She's going to be minting, I think. She's the first project I've seen on VSC. So that's insanely cool. So yeah, let's give her some hundreds for support. And then joining us as co-host for the first time this week, we have 90s Babe. Hello, babe.
Hello. Thank you so much for having us, Crypto Tech Women. I'm so excited to be a part of this space today. My name's Danielle Petty. I am one of the founders of 90s Babes. We are a 10K generative collection that is celebrating our history as agents of change, with the 90s, with the goal of empowering women through NFTs. So we are really excited to be here today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to have you here. 90s Babe will also be co-hosting Sunday Space, where we're going to be talking about utility. What is it? Why do we care? That's going to be an amazing space. I'll send an invite soon. It'll be at 8 a.m. PST. And then time to introduce our amazing panel of women here. So we're going to start with Marianne. Hi, Marianne. Tell us about you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marianne Chisholm, and I'm an artist. I went into NFT last year. Absolutely made the decision to dive in head first and just do it. I'm the kind of person who believes that if you're going to succeed at something, and if you really want to get it done, if you make a decision to do it, you need to absolutely go in head first and do it. So that was my plan. I ended up selling 145 pieces in 2021, and depending on the price of ETH, it varies, but up to as much as $60,000. And it sounds so incredibly impressive, doesn't it? But I would like to say that the learning curve in NFT is pretty intense. So many financial mistakes in gas in particular. What a hard lesson that was. That being said, I'm currently a member of the Medici family, representing the House of Bardi, which is the organization that Cosimo de' Medici and his wife are starting to form as a DAO for artists all over the world. And I was one of 5 people chosen. And it's exciting, actually, to see what they're doing with this, especially since most people have no clue what's going on. So they look at my crest and say, "Who are you?" Anyway, but I'm very grateful. And then last update, I got into the Bored Ape Ladies Club, and I'm presenting my ape as a derivative coming up in the next 11 days. So it's an exciting time. And I just feel like many of us had a lot of hits in the past few months from when the market dipped. I know I had a lot of hits, and I was drowning in medical debt, and only just now starting to learn how to be more practical and smarter. And thank God I have a business partner. Anyway, that's me. Hi, everyone.
I'll have to ask you more about that ladies ape club. I had not heard of it at all. Is it a derivative?
Oh, it is, but it's sanctioned by the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it's incredible. It is also a DAO, and it's for people that don't own an actual Bored Ape. And you compete as an artist, and you apply. You have to follow the community rules, which are the same community rules that we all try to live by every day, which is lift each other up, be supportive of one another, and then create great art. But you get the power of the Bored Ape Yacht Club buying power behind you. They have built-in collectors and people that are vested in seeing these individual artists succeed. It is a life-changing opportunity, and I actually sweat it really hard when I applied, because I didn't know for sure if I'd get in. So I only just found out I got in like 2 days ago.
That's amazing. Congrats. I had not heard of it. I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's on Twitter. It's Bored Ape Ladies on Twitter, but you could also just search in Twitter Bored Ape Ladies Club or Bored Ape Ladies Collective, and they've just closed applications for this cycle, but they're going to open them up again in February. And I cannot recommend enough how important and vital it is to build a solid collector's base that gets you in front of the right eyes. So I heartily recommend that if you are a lady, you apply. And if you are a non-binary or gay man, apply. If you're transgender, apply. They are inclusive and really good people.
It's super amazing. Thank you for letting us know. And ladies in the audience, or anyone from who Marianne mentioned, make sure to go check them out. February is coming up. And then going on to our second guest. Hi, Chanel. Tell us about you.
Hello, I'm sorry. I was trying to follow the organization that we was just discussed, then I was like clicking around Twitter. So yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. I'm actually based in Singapore. It's like 12 a.m. here. So good evening, GM. I guess GM is global. I'm the founder of Tasty Toasties, which is a project that is featured in my PFP as the slice of cute toast that I'm holding. So it's a little bit different from, I guess,
Chanel,
yeah,
sorry to
yeah.
interrupt. I think maybe, I don't know if it's only for me, but your mic sounds a little bit like static. I'm not sure if anyone else can hear it that way. Yeah.
Okay. Let me.
She was sounding okay to me, so I don't know.
Maybe it's just me. So no worries, then just go ahead.
Hey, anyone? Chanel.
Hello?
I
Sorry.
feel
Is it okay now?
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead. I
Yeah,
think
all right.
it's probably just me, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was just saying I'm the founder of Tasty Toasties, which is a generative cute toast project. And I'm based out of Singapore. We actually launched last year in November in a pretty bearish market. And we are having a new wave of interest the last couple of weeks because we got featured in mainstream media in Singapore, and it got picked up by I guess people around the region. So I happened to be strolling through Twitter Spaces the other night, and then I reached out to CryptoTechWomen to find out, if I could maybe connect with more people outside of Asia to share more a little bit about our project, because I've kind of been working on it with a very Asia focus for the last few months. And then I went to like NFT New York, I went to Decentral Miami, but most of the time I'm just at home in Singapore and my computer working on the project. So I feel like if I don't get on Twitter Spaces, I will never meet people from around the world. So that's what I'm trying to do, and we are relaunching the project stealth. We're doing a stealth relaunch in the next few days, depending on how fast we can get everything up and running with a reduced price and some free mints to kick everything off. So really excited on letting everyone know how they can be a part of that. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and my project, and thank you so much for having me here. I would love to learn more about, everyone's projects, and I'm really, really glad that in the NFT space, I'm seeing all of these like grassroots activities to be more inclusive. I was just telling someone yesterday that I can't imagine like 10 years ago if, you're a female founder trying to start a Web2 company, you would probably not have so much support. So yeah, I'm just really glad that I'm starting something at this point in history. So thank you again, everyone, very much for your support. And would like to pass the time on to someone else, and then you can keep the conversation going. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And yes, we'll definitely go through a round of questions, get to know everyone in a deeper level. And then one ask before we move on to our next speaker. If you are loving this space, can you please reshare it? We want to get more people in here. We want to spread the word, be able to show the journey of these ladies to more people. So please retweet the space. And moving on, we have Babes. Hey, Babe.
Hey Gigi, thanks for having me on. My name's Eileen. I am the artist and one of the co-founders over at Bay Apes. We are a collection of 5,000 bays, and we're launching on February 11th for our pre-sale. I'm really excited for this project. We've been working on it since last September to really just find a fun way to just represent ladies and bays that's trendy, fun, edgy, and cute, and just give us a space where we're not being poked fun at as bored or desperate, or like, we just really wanted to represent ladies where you can see your best friend in them, or you can see a trendy influencer you follow. And this project has my whole heart and soul. I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of the leading ladies that are around me. I'm really excited to be here, Gigi. I really appreciate the space that you're giving us ladies to just share our story. I'm an artist, like, part-time. I was doing it for fun on the side. And when my husband jumped into the space, he was like, you could totally do this, and totally pushed me forward and just really gave me the confidence to jump into this NFT space. So I'm really excited to be here and to hear everyone's story and see where everyone's going. So thanks for having us over here.
Of course, so happy and so grateful that you were all able to join. So definitely thank you for that. And then to start our round, and before we start, do any of our co-hosts would like to start with a question maybe? I'll hand it off to Crypto Girlfriend or 90s Babe. I think they're both being polite. Okay. 90s Babe, I see you laughing. You want to go ahead with the first question?
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, I think as the first question, we'd like to start off by just learning a little bit more about your background and what motivated you to join the space. So, Marianne, if you'd like to go first.
Hey, I'd love to. Well, my background is directly related to my art, and I wear it out in public on my sleeve because I want people to know that it made me who I am. It may not be who I am as an identity, but it brought me to this point. I spent 14 years in prison on a wrongful conviction. I created art during that time to convey the emotions of that day and give an insight artistically into how I coped. It was obviously an extraordinarily difficult time, but I can look back on it now and say I was meant to go through that so I can help other people in mental health. I am mentally ill. I'm medicated. I'm the kind of person who will need to be medicated my entire life. I'm frivolous with money when I'm not properly medicated, and it was an absolute nightmare. When they pronounced my guilt and told the jury about my guilt, they sentenced me to 27 to 30 years. And they used as examples of guilt for the jury my symptoms. literally reading off examples of the symptoms of my mental illness. And it is absolutely one of the most eye-opening experiences I ever had. It felt like a third world experience. The way that we treat prisoners in America and the way that we treat human beings, there is no such thing as innocent until proven guilty. It is guilty until proven innocent, and you may never be proven innocent. So you are just guilty. And if you are always thinking about money or always thinking about marketing, then you are determined to scam, as opposed to someone who's suffering from obsessive compulsive disorder. It was a time where I realized that my parents had taught me to believe that everyone in the world was good and did bad things. And unfortunately, what I learned was that everyone in the world is not good. And there are people who just do bad things. And I felt this sense of betrayal inside, because I really had believed what my parents had taught me. When I was in prison, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to know anyone. I just didn't want to talk. So the first 2 years, I befriended only Mexican national girls because I couldn't speak Spanish. So we would smile and draw together or cook together. And I learned some rudimentary Spanish, but eventually I needed a girl to translate my bad Spanish for the other girls because I knew nothing about grammar. It was so embarrassing. Anyway, but eventually my parents raised money. They hired an appellate attorney. The appellate attorney got relief, and I was released in 2018. I'm still not okay. I don't know when I'll be okay. I still have things that make me cry that I've thought I had come to terms with. But on my Twitter profile, there's a piece, and that piece is called Athena After the War. And it's the most important piece I've ever done in my lifetime. It is a collection of every painting that I did in custody that I have a record for. I painted 5,600. I have a record of about, at this point, 610. So you can see the paintings flying through, and then they make this sculpture, Athena. And it's like I got to take those pieces from the days when I was suffering most and turn them into something new in NFT, to animate them, to show that I could move on, that I'm not that girl that's alone in that prison anymore. And so it gives me something beautiful to look back on. When I heard that people had a $63 million plus sale, I remembered thinking, I've done that. I painted over 5,000 paintings. I did it every day. Those were my everydays. Why am I not doing that? So I started, and I used my obsessive compulsive disorder to prompt me into becoming what my friend Tori Bryant says, a marketing person, innovative marketer extraordinaire. It was something along those lines. But I'm very, very lucky to be in this community. I'm loving helping other people. I love featuring other artists. And if you have art, please DM me. I love to promote you. I love to help you. And I have a feature every day called My Favorite Artist Day, which started out as like this cute little thing with just maybe a dozen people, and now is not little or cute anymore. It's kind of a serious thing. So
Marianne, I feel you so much. My brother-in-law is going through the same exact thing that you went through, and he may never get out. So I'm over here tearing up. I'm sorry.
No, I teared up too. It's okay.
My father-in-law is a criminal defense attorney, and I see it all the time where people are wrongfully convicted. You are absolutely 100% right. And it's like, if you're sitting in that chair, the jury thinks you're guilty. So
Yes. There's
it's
no
not easy.
it's not easy, and it's not any form of justice. It makes me it makes my heart hurt, actually, because I grew up believing that we lived in a fair America. I believe that. I was raised in the 70s and the 60s, all these hippies going around talking about how miserable it was during Vietnam and how lucky we are that we found ourselves. But we never found ourselves. No, we just hit. And my parents founded this organization. My dad helped found this organization. It's called Up With People. And they were all about peace and love, light, sharing, unity. It was all very, very positive. We did not ever deal with people that were negative. I was so sheltered. So when this happened, everyone thought I was guilty. And my dad, I was so heartbroken that I let him down. Um, but my dad, one day after the trial, sat there and he just started sobbing, because it wasn't just that I was in prison, it was also that he realized that everything he had told me my whole life was wrong. And it's a horrible realization, to realize that your values are not other people's values, especially if they're decent. Like, I want to help people. I want to make sure they have food. I want to make sure they have a place to live. If they can't afford healthcare, I want to help them. And none of that was ever conveyed in my trial. It was just like, people I thought were my friends were saying, hey, she bought us this stuff, but then she told us that we had to spend it on her. And I know you guys don't know me, but nothing could even fathomably be further from the truth. I If I had $1, I'd give you 50 cents and we'd walk together. Um, if I had $1 and I had just eaten, I would give you the dollar. It is exactly like that. But I'm so sorry that you're going through that too. It is something I would not wish on my worst enemy. It is painful and unnecessary, but it does inspire art. I can't I can't even lie about
Strong
that.
emotions definitely inspire art. I do the same thing. I'm a DJ, so when my uncle passed away, I did this very emotional like trance set, and
Oh,
that's one beautiful thing that comes out of strong emotions, good or
it
bad.
it certainly does, and that's a really good way to put it. It absolutely does, and I've learned now how important it is to communicate and to understand and accept the fact that what you believe may not always be what other people believe. And it's okay. You don't have to prove that you're telling the truth, because I'm going to get all cheesy now, but you know, there's a higher power that knows the truth. So if that higher power already knows the truth, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. It's hard to realize that, especially when you're in the thick of it, because you're very defensive. And so it's a transformative experience and a humbling experience. And I would never go through it again, but it made me the artist I am.
Marianne, I just want to say that is honestly so inspiring. I mean, first of all, I'm so sorry that that is something that you had to experience. And I can also relate. My dad went through the same thing last year. We're still dealing with the court of it all. And it was also like really shocking for me, like everything that I had been taught and learned, I had to kind of come to terms with. And I just love that you've created this beautiful art, to transmute that pain with. And thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for listening. And hopefully someday there will be a day where I can talk about this without crying. But it's not here yet.
It's totally okay to, share your emotions. We're human. And I think emotions and feelings are part of what makes us human. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I think, it's incredibly sad that you would have to go through that. I'm personally an empath, so I do get very touched by other people's pain, and it's so heart it makes my heart sick to see so many news stories that come out with like similar things where maybe someone is a person of color and they got convicted in a way that maybe Caucasian wouldn't have, or maybe someone is a black person and they did the same crime someone that was white committed it, but this person actually went to jail for it. And I see so many injustices being served, and it really hurts my heart, and it hurts that even more to know that now I know you and you are actually personally affected by this. I think you're incredibly strong to be able to be here, share your story, and transform your pain into art. And that you're in the Web3 space. Like, can people give her some fist pumps or some hundreds? Like, this is amazing. The fact that you were able to go through all of that, learn from it, create all of this amazing art, and then you're also here in the Web3 space. It's insane to me. Like, you're a fucking rock star.
Thank you. Yeah, I my children feel it's hilarious and ironic that I was gone for 14 years and I know more people than they do in the industry. And I know that when I asked my son to follow me on Twitter, he was like, "Mom, lay off. I'll join you and your 9 friends on Twitter when I have a moment." I was like, 9 friends? I have 50,000, but come at your leisure.
That is hilarious. You're like, okay, you can sit down and listen, kid, okay?
Yeah. And he was like, "What the hell, Mom? Who are all these people?"
And then he starts asking you for tips on how to get more followers, right?
He did. He did. My son, Adam, is shrewd and he works as my social media manager, actually, for everything except for Twitter. So, word to the wise, my friends, the only place where I'm really authentically me is here.
Okay, good to know. Good
Yeah.
to know.
And
Well,
thank you.
no, thank you so much for sharing that. You'll bud, Chanel. Tell us about your background and what motivated you to join the space.
Thanks for having me. And I was just thinking that I was like, oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing your story. Yeah, I can't imagine, how traumatic that must have been. And I mean, I have gone through my fair share of hardship, although nothing as, traumatizing as yours. So I cannot imagine that. But I guess for me, when I started Tasty Toasties, it was a fun project that I decided to do with my younger brother, with whom I have a really close relationship. He is the back end genius. He built the website, he did the wallet integration, he did the smart contract. Like, he did it all by himself, and he had no prior training in Solidity, which was really crazy. He's actually a data scientist by training, and he did all the different languages in a matter of months. So that was that. And we were kind of like putting ourselves through extreme deadlines when we were trying to get it up and running, because we wanted to make sure that we were launching in good market conditions. unfortunately, and then we actually hit those targets, but then I put a pin in the project to go to NFT New York. So then by the time I came back, market was bearish. But the 2 months at the start when we were working on our NFT project together, something that really amazed me was how fast we were able to resolve conflict with one another. Because I think when family members sometimes come together to work on something, you don't really know where to draw the line that this is not this is work, it should be professional. But at the same time, we grew up together, so there is that sibling that thing where you do to kind of like annoy each other. And I think like after, so I'm almost 30 this year. I think I'm turning 30 next month. So after, I guess, almost 3 decades of my life with my younger brother, we have finally learned how to push aside, no, so not push aside anything, more like resolve conflicts with each other. And this was only possible in recent years. I don't know how he would feel. Actually, you know what? Both of us are very transparent. I'll just share it. Like, he went through his own bout of depression for like 2.5, 3 years, and I think it was the thing that we had to go through together to come out of it with a stronger relationship. And I think a lot of us, like both of us, we kept a lot of things repressed for most of our lives. Because our mom passed away from cancer when I was like 12 and he was 10. So fortunately for us, our family, like on my mom's side, took us in. And also because our dad like kind of left the family when I don't know, I was like 4 or 5, I don't remember. So we kind of just grew up with each other, and we were like each other's family and each other's support system this whole time. And then there was some point in our adulthood where our paths kind of like diverged. Like he had his own life, I had my own life. We still stay in the same house, by the way. So but then only when he had that breakdown, and I was at a point in my life where I couldn't understand depression. I was like, what is this? Because both of us were very, very high performing in school, and only after I saw someone who was always good at everything completely like shut down and learn how to deal with that as a caretaker, that I think I like started to understand what we had gone through and what we had repressed for so many years. And I think when COVID first started in 2020, like he was more or less okay. Like he had come out of his phase by then, and I don't call it a phase. Sorry, I think more like come out of understanding himself and going through all of that internal like turmoil after like 3 years. Then suddenly it was my turn. So I think 2020 was one of the worst years for me personally. But then like because he had gone through whatever he had gone through, and he noticed the signs in me, and he was like, your turn to go to therapy, and your turn to explore like everything that you repressed ever since mom died. So I spent 2020 kind of like fixing whatever I could fix. I know it sounds very surgical when I put it this way, but it had to be done. Like, for example, I traced down my dad in Korea, and then I actually traced him down years ago when I turned 21, and I found his email address, but I never and the crazy thing is like Facebook was how I traced him down to, like when I was 21, because I needed my birth certificate for some identity reason. And then I was like, oh my god, I don't know where my Korean certificate is. Anyway, I traced him down, and then I never reached out because I just thought, like, why would I reach out to someone who abandoned us when we were kids? And then what happened? For some reason, I think that year I was like obsessed with the idea that I need to at least talk to him once before he dies, even though like I couldn't figure out why. Because if he wanted to find us this whole time, he could have easily done that. Like Singapore's a very small city, he could just easily find my family and find us. But one day I just woke up and I was like, okay, this is the day I'm going to like reach out. So I did that, and he replied quite quickly. We had a call, and ever since that call, I feel like something about my identity has been locked into place. And that's something like my therapist told me, like, you reach out to him not for him, but it's for yourself, is to help you piece together your identity. Okay, I don't even know why I'm going to this. It's just because Marianne shared the story, and then I was like, oh my god, I don't know. But anyway, so that was kind of a little bit about our background, of me and my brother. Like, we went through our own like childhood stuff, but we were very lucky in the sense that our mom's side, the family took us in, and we did well in school. So in Singapore, the system is very meritocratic. If you do well in school, you don't have to really worry about things. So I think on that side of things, we were okay. It's just more like we haven't taken care of our emotional garden for years. So we spent the last, I guess, like 4 to 5 years kind of working through this on our different timelines. And I think last year, when we came across NFTs together, we were like, okay, let's just try and work on this together, like brother sister project. And then through these last few months, we have realized that we make very good business partners in the sense of how we communicate with one another. We are super efficient, which is why we can run a whole project with just the two of us, even though we are related. And this done, and the thing I know why I brought this up, because we have been analyzing how efficient we have been, and we have realized that none of it would have been possible if we had not gone through everything that we went through together and had this same shared life experience, and then also gone to therapy, and then like worked through our like repressed feelings about what we grew up with. So we're really, really grateful that everything in our life happened for a reason and brought us to this point. And yeah, I think that's just kind of like the background of like who I am, and I guess like who's behind the project, like what kind of people we are. But if I want to just, there's no relation to the Tasty Toasties at all. I think I just drew like cute bread, because like there's like popular cute characters in Asia, like Gudetama. I don't know if anyone here in the audience knows Gudetama. It's a super lazy egg that just wakes up tired. So I felt like it would have a bit of a mainstream appeal, to make like toys or household merch and just stuff like that. And I wanted something in the space that wasn't pixel art, or I guess more like animals. So that was just kind of why I did this. But and at the end of the day, like what him and I have agreed on is, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it was a fun experiment. But so far, I think the returns from having poured our time and energy into this has been incredible. And in that we just learned so much so quickly in such a short amount of time, and we've expanded the possibilities of what we could do for the next few years of our careers. So I think for that alone, I would recommend everyone in the audience to just kind of like explore opportunities in this space, because it's so experimental, it's so new, everyone's so supportive. You just never really know where you could land up. And I think like events like Twitter Spaces, they give you access to people all around the world. I can't imagine another point in human history where this is possible, and I'm very grateful for that, because the Singapore market is very small. We have a small community of very, very supportive people in our so far, who are like hodling our NFTs, but the wider community at large still doesn't really know much about NFTs. In fact, I think if you look at the news articles, comments on Facebook, I don't never read Facebook comments, but I just had to, because I don't know, I'm self-destructive. Anyway, I'm going to read the Facebook comments, and I was like, oh my gosh, there is a lot to be done in educating everyone. So if I want to find success with my brand, I'm like, okay, I need to kind of reach other markets as well. So yeah, I'm just really grateful that I have kind of found a space in NFTs to do that with. And yeah, I'm really grateful for all the opportunities in this world. And I think a huge part of what I want to do once we have a sustainable project under our belt is also see how we can build this into more opportunities for people who don't otherwise have the education or the resources to get started. I think that's really important to me because every day I am aware of how privileged I am to be in this position, to be in the 1% of the entire world, to have working internet, working connection, and just talk to like random people around the world. And so many people can't even do that, let alone know about NFTs. So that's going to be really important to me, and education is going to be a big part of our project in terms of like bringing on board more people into the space regardless of who they are. So yeah, it's just a little bit about the vision and purpose of what I want to do. And on the front it's cute bread. That's all.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
your toast is really cute. I tweeted earlier that B&B, it's what's for breakfast. So it kind of goes along with my tweet, the little cute toasts.
Thank
I was
you.
gonna say I'm
Appreciate it.
hungry right now, and I saw, I went into Toasties just to have a fresh look, and I'm so hungry now. And it's funny because they're so cute. I almost don't want to eat them, but I'm so hungry I do. No, but jokes aside, you did miss one thing from your postman, so I do want to make sure to highlight it. And is that for her postman, they will be reserving 20 ETH for making community donations, and I could not let you not say that out loud.
Oh no. The information is wrong. I'm so sorry because we are cutting the price of the mint,
Mm,
so we can't reserve 20 ETH now. I think that will take up too much of what we have because we're cutting everything by a third. But we are reserving I think like 5 ETH. Yeah, 5 ETH.
that
Yeah, cause
that's still amazing.
yeah. Thanks. I'm so sorry. I have to update everything because we just announced like internally the changes last night. So tonight I will go update all the public information. Yeah.
Okay, I just
All
wanted to
right.
make sure people knew like you are also giving back because I think that's one of the most amazing parts of the Web3 communities that everyone is so collaborative. I mean, we have an amazing panel here. We have two amazing co-hosts with their own projects. There's, no reason they need to be here with us, Crypto Tech Women, but they want to. You guys as well, everyone who's in the listeners here, like we're all supporting each other, and I think that's like the beauty of the Web3 space, where we are not competing, we are empowering, we're embracing each other, we're supporting each other. And sometimes support may not be in dollars or in ETH or in Sol or whatever it is that you use, because sometimes people don't have that. But support can be as little as a like, as a retweet, as a comment, as an encouraging DM, just saying like, hey, love what you're doing. And I definitely get those, and I appreciate everyone who takes their time to do that. So, and then something you mentioned about people, some people not having internet and all of these things, that I completely relate to that in a deep level. Everything I've done in my life, once I was like independent, which I actually make myself independent at 16. Later on, my family in Venezuela had a big decade, and my family's there, my grandpa, my grandma, my aunt, like everyone except my mom and brothers, and everything I've done is for them. Sadly, in Venezuela, inflation is super bad, and my aunt, being a petroleum engineer, makes close to nothing. And it's a really tough situation where where my grandparents live. They haven't had a telephone line fell whenever said. They don't have like good Wi-Fi. They don't even have like iPhones over there. Like normal people they have like flip phones, because it's such a poor country, hindered with so much inflation. So that definitely, touches home for me. Um, anyway.
Yeah, I have a couple moderators in my community that have been around for a while, even before there was even a project. And some of them live in the Middle East, and they're going through some similar things. I mean, one of them had to flee Afghanistan when the Taliban took over. Another one is like a couple are in Iran, and they're like always talking about if they're still going to have internet or not today. So it's like definitely a different situation worldwide.
Yeah, I know. So I I go to church here in LA. It's called Mosaic. And a few years ago, obviously before the pandemic, they did a trip. I don't remember what region in Africa, but they had no electricity in that region. So my church brought like lanterns that are powered by the sun. And the community was hesitant because they don't believe in God there. But my church just wanted to bring that, not to promote God, but just to promote like human, being a humanitarian and helping. And they said that it was for them, it was insane to see that those lanterns would light up at nighttime because they had never seen electricity. So just a shout out here, just to be really grateful. If you're in a great country, if you have opportunities, I know it's easy to get down and feel defeated at times. But when we look at the larger scope of life, we are still so lucky you're all here. We have the internet. Your Twitter's not banned in your country. We really have a lot of opportunity. So just, sending a grateful, positive message this morning. But moving on, Bay Apes, thank you so much for having me in your space last week. I had so much fun. You are amazing. Your husband is also the nicest person ever. Tell us more about you. Like, what's your background? What was your motivation?
Of course. No, and Gigi, we loved having you on too. I know it was just really exciting to hear your take because just as an artist, hearing all of like your technical background was really just inspiring for myself. I'm from Bay Apes and we're a small team. It's pretty much like Chanel's like little team. It's family oriented. It's my husband, myself, and then his brother. So my brother-in-law, and those guys are fantastic. Like, Rich, he's my brother-in-law, fantastic at developing like the site, the contract. He's really engineering like a wonderful and safe and secure process for our mint day coming up. And I'm super grateful for him. And then Mike, my husband, was the guy that kind of like, he's like the glue that's brought us all together to work on this project because I knew nothing about NFTs when we started back in September. It was all going right over my head. But when I started looking at the art and seeing what was out there, it just really sparked me to say, I can do this. Like, I can jump in on this. I have ideas. And it just made me really just start running with a concept. And the guys were on board too at like, let's deliver something that's awesome, that's fantastic for the community, that represents like a female like version of this ape that's so popular in a really awesome fun way where ladies would want that as their picture or that I could relate to it with traits. And last year was probably one of the hardest years I've ever had. I lost my dad. It was separation from family. Like, it was just so terrible. And what really was great about this project, that it was just kind of like an outlet for me to just find my creative side and do something that I know my dad would want me to be doing, to just really put my art out there and to trust myself with this idea and to trust my team and run with it. Because at the end of the day, a 9 to 5 is great. And I love the job that I have now. I'm actually an event planner, and it's a great job. But my true passion is really being able to create and to be artsy and to make things. And being able to find a space where that's highlighted and encouraged is so amazing because it gives so many artists that we never would have known about an opportunity to shine and an opportunity to showcase their strengths and what they can do on a level where it can get spread pretty much globally. I can't even, like, I would, if you told me like a year ago that someone from Australia would be in my community telling me that they love my art, I would have laughed because that makes no sense to me. Like, now we're in this community where there's people from all over the world showing support is amazing. And just being in this space now and talking to you ladies, and you're all from different backgrounds and stories and have so much wonderful things to like showcase, blows my mind. Because a year ago I never would have thought that I would be in a space like this, and being in a space like this now makes me feel like, man, our future like has endless possibilities. So I have a lot of motivation behind wanting to like leave the space better and create a space that is welcoming to not only just females and ladies, but to everybody, to newbies, to people that are experienced. And showcase our work, whether it's from the art standpoint to the tech standpoint, that it's quality, and it's not about the quantity of how many people are in our community. It's really about the quality of the type of people we're attracting. And I think that's been so special. Like, our community has just been so wonderful and so great that even just popping in to say hi inspires me and motivates me to continue to put my best foot forward. So I think the way the last year has been, and just going through all the trials and just going through all these internal battles of like, can I do this? Can I not do this? And then just choosing to go for it has probably been the best decision I've ever made. So I'm really excited for this next year and to see what our team can do, because I know we're small and scrappy, but I know we're really aiming to do it right and to do it in a way where I know we're all learning, but we're going to learn to make sure that we're leaving this space a little bit better than when we found it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people here relate. You know, I have my 9 to 5, which I always joke, and it's more of like a 24/7 when
Yeah.
you're a software engineer. Because if there's a fire, you just have to go put it out. And I love my job. That's like the
Yeah.
thing. Like, I feel like so many people here can relate where they do love what they do, but
Correct.
they also found this space and they just want to divide themselves into two.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
3 or 4, or
No, I think that I honestly, like, thank you for sharing this. I love your art. I think it's very interesting because it is a different type of like monkey PFP, right? Like, if
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are like, okay, monkey, 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 but yours is actually like a fashion forward. So I as a woman, I can look at it and be like, okay, this is so cute. Like, I like it, and I like the things that you're doing. Do you want to talk a little bit about like anything related to your roadmap that people should know?
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm in California, and all of like our founders, like myself, my husband, and my brother-in-law, we all are parents as well. So we're also blessed with beautiful children, and it was really important. And my husband's also an educator, so it was really important for us to find a purpose that not only gave back to like our youth, but to just help other families that may need it. So we're donating 5% of all of our bays to the Children's Hospital in Orange County, regardless of sellout. So we're going to continue to just donate to them. We're also going to be starting a way where we can teach our younger generation how to create NFTs and put them together. So a lot of like my son's friends and like classmates are all interested in the space just because we're talking about it. And I think giving them an opportunity to chat about it a little bit more when they're younger is such a great opportunity because that's where our generations are going to go into. This space isn't going anywhere, and building a solid foundation when they're young to give them the confidence. It's kind of like you should teach your kids about how to handle money and how to handle their credit score, but you should also teach them that there's opportunities everywhere. If you want to be an artist, be an artist. If you want to work hard to like play sports, you can do it. And just encouraging that aspect in our youth is really important to us.
That's amazing. I also love the software that you guys are building. Oh wait. Are you No, you guys are not building software. It's a different project actually that will also join. But yes, I am so excited for your launch.
Thank
Education is
you.
like part of the biggest things for us, at least for me. And I can't wait for you to do some meetups. I want to be there.
I
And now
know.
that
I'm
I
so
know your
excited.
event planner, I'm sure they're going to be amazing.
I know. We're excited. Like, that's kind of like my jam, just to be able to plan something in person. I'm really excited for. So,
I'm in SoCal too, so we can all get together.
oh, perfect.
Hey, I'm in Arizona, but you know what? I
That's
will
not
be there.
far. Yeah, I'm going to be here.
I'm in Arizona too, and 90's Babe and I can carpool.
Oh,
Yes, let's
perfect.
do it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys. You guys have such amazing inspirations for how you got into this space. But I'm interested. I know, Marianne, you had spoke about a big achievement you had. I think you sold something for a very large sum of money. And so let's kind of talk about what some of your greatest achievements so far have been.
Well,
I,
I've sold collectively quite a bit for a large sum of money. I think my most expensive NFT went for point 0.9, and at the time it was like $3,300 or $3,400. Um, but for me, my landmark achievements have actually just started to happen. Um, I wake up every day and I still worry about money. Um, and I think that that's normal in the world we're in right now. But I'd like to get to the point where I don't have to worry about money all the time. And so being accepted into the Bored Ape Ladies Club is an enormous achievement, one that I won't squander. And representing the House of Barty in their demo with Lit um, is tremendous. It starts out like kind of like a silly sort of game, like live action role play, but the message underneath it all is very, very serious. It is providing a foundation for artists when they are struggling to survive, so that we keep the renaissance or degenerescence going. It inspires me to create better art, to be quite honest. And so I've just I've got like maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 things up, but just in the 2 or 3 days since that happened, i've uh I've almost quadrupled my floor. So it's a blessing. Now comes the time where you decide, I am not going to jeopardize that floor. I'm not going to drop it again. I'm not going to put it on sale. And if you're like me, when something doesn't sell for like a week, you're thinking, my God, what have I done wrong? But honestly, it's nothing you've done wrong. It's you know, learning how to operate in this particular environment. So achievement wise, uh, I've got some amazing collectors that like my work and encourage me, and it still isn't enough to pay the bills, but it's getting there, and I refuse to back down and go get another job because I'm a money magnet.
Marianne, I'm so sorry. Quick pause. I know Bay Apes has to say some parting words.
Okay, go for it.
I know. Sorry, Marianne. You are amazing. I wanted to just quickly say thank you guys. I have to actually run into work. But I really appreciate taking the time to just talk to me and just give me a chance to just share my story a little bit and introduce Bay Apes to anybody that hasn't gotten to meet her yet. She's a Bay with a purpose, and I really appreciate everyone taking the time to just listen, because you guys are all amazing, and I'm really excited to see what all your projects are going to do. So thank you again.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Loved learning about your project and can't wait to learn more.
I know. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you all soon.
Thank you. I'll have you again soon. Okay, Marianne, so sorry about that. Continue.
Oh no, it's totally fine. I just I'm I guess one of the things I'm having to learn right now is that if something isn't moving, then go find something to do to help the community, talk to people, go to spaces, give advice, be supportive, and then the sales will come. And I need to learn how to not sit and watch that page and judge myself. Like, I thought this was better than this. I thought I was going to sell this faster than this. I really thought that this was a particularly good piece. Why is no one buying it? Um, it's impossible to shake those thoughts all together, but I am learning how to quiet them by putting my attention on other people, because I have found that my best sales come when I'm not aggressively shilling.
I love that you're sharing this, because as a project founder, as a community founder, and I'm sure here as many of others are, many others artists here, I do think the imposter syndrome kicks in, and that's something that 90s Babe and I will be talking about on a Twitter space on Friday. But there is imposter syndrome, and it it's tough, right? Like, it's not something you want to do, but
Certainly not.
But it's a crippling thought that comes in, and as I have talked to, as I've talked about in other spaces, when we do see this project selling out or this other artist selling out like so fast, where they just hit like record times, and that boosts your motivation, and you're like, okay, then maybe that will be me. And sometimes that is not immediately you, and
No,
that is okay. We have to normalize that, right?
right. It is because I honestly truly believe that if you stay at it and you put your heart and soul into it, you will have that moment. It may not happen tomorrow, maybe it will, but you will have that moment. But you can't give up, because the most successful people in the world are people who failed 1,000 times. They focus on the success. They don't focus on that moment when everything went well. Um, no one really knows what the other person has come through unless they talk about it. And it is impossible to gauge what their one drawing in their one circumstance did if you compare it to your own. So the best thing, in my opinion, to do is stop comparing yourself and own the fact that this is your art, this is your message. And as long as you walk ahead with a light in your heart and determination, there is no reason that you cannot be an absolutely enormous success. None. So it's for me, 100% success comes from not giving up.
That's so true, so inspiring. Thank you for your comments, Marianne. I mean, I feel the same way. I could have easily launched my NFTs on Ethereum, and Binance Smart Chain, the NFT space is so small right now. It's weird that it's so small, and it's going to be a challenge. And
Yeah.
it's just my heart is with BSC. I just couldn't see myself going on Ethereum when I love the Binance Smart Chain so much. And I know it's going to be a challenge. I don't have high expectations. Most of the projects there take a while to sell out, and some never sell out. So it's just, I don't care. I'm going to try and do it, try to build it.
I think that's great, but may I make a suggestion?
Yes.
You need to do, in my opinion, you need to do something on several different platforms and then study. It is fine to support an independent platform or a separate platform, but support them with the art that you mint there and mint something else somewhere else.
Oh, for
Because
sure. I mean, we're
it doesn't
designing a marketplace that is going to be multi-chain. So we
good.
will have stuff multi-chain. And I have NFTs. I have NFTs on Ethereum, Chronos, Phantom,
Good.
Binance. So I definitely, and I did a collab with one of my friends on Phantom on Monday, and it was really cool because we gave away some of their NFTs that minted out on Friday, and I introduced the people from BSC to Phantom. It was their first time on Phantom, so it was really cool.
No, that's the exactly effective way to do some cross promotions and marketing in that regard. My favorite platform, I'm not shy about it, is Known Origin. That platform is so amazing. They need more collectors. So what I'm trying to do is steer my collectors over to Known Origin because it is so much more artist friendly. They care about how much you spend on minting, so it's not as much as Foundation. And they care about whether or not their artists are being heard, so they give you live feedback. It's they're not like your average platform, but they are on the Ethereum chain. So, it's incredibly wonderful to feel a frustration about something and say, "Hey, I want to talk to you guys about this." And then they talk to you about it and you feel like you have a resolution. What? That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in Ethereum. It certainly doesn't happen on Foundation. And I'm not dogging on Foundation. I'm just saying I've spent so much money on Foundation. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. And it's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I think last year I spent about well, in the last few months, I spent $11,000 in gas on foundation. And to do the same listings on known origin, it was about probably under 1,000. But what does that matter if you're not making a sale? So you've got to teach collectors, hey, I'd love you to come over to this platform because I get, X amount of dollars more. They take less as a cut. They appreciate me more. They promote me. They talk to me, And by me, I'm saying that now as a personal experience, but they do that with their collectors and their artists. They have an open board. So, if you want to be on a different chain, tell people why you want to be there and encourage them to come.
I wonder if they're using the ERC 1155 standard, because that one typically will have much lower fees than the standard ERC 721 standard, even on Ethereum. So I'm curious. I want to look into it some more.
You just talked geek to me.
That was complete. Did you hear my partner? She's like, that was completely Greek. Yes.
I know. That's my technical background. Sorry.
I have no idea. But you know what? When you find out, will you tell me?
For sure. I posted the link in my Discord because I want to look at it some more. But it does look like there's some pretty cool artwork on there, so I want to check it out.
Oh, they're phenomenal. And I am completely in love with them. They are just incredible people, and I hope that we get more exposure for them, because it is one thing to be on a chain and not know what you're doing, not know where you're going, not really sure what is the technique, what's the best way to sell, do you have any tips? And these guys are always giving tips. So, they're building something really special. And I think artists are going to continue to be taken advantage of until we say, hey, that's enough. We're not going to pay these exorbitant mint fees anymore. And yes, Tezos is great. It's actually fantastic, but it does not have the dollar value that Ethereum does right now. It is, it's more for collectibles than it is for one. And they do have one-for-one artists on it, but they move slower than the collectibles. So it's still, we're all testing the water.
100%. But that's great advice. So for anyone who's here and maybe you're an artist and you've only been listing on OpenSea, go out there, try different platforms, try your luck, share. I think different platforms sometimes will have some of the same buyers, but they also will have a different audience at times. So definitely put yourself out there and try as many things as possible and see what works for you, because maybe what works for you is something different than what works for everyone else. And that is totally fine.
Oh, yeah. And it is. And what works for you may be the greatest thing in the world. But for me, what works for me on foundation may not work on known origin. So be prepared to be fluid. And also, when in doubt, just talk with other people. And also, by the way, you guys, please don't shill unless people ask. I know that you guys up top here, you know the drill, but there are so many people who blindly shill. Like, you'll ask a question and suddenly you see art in your feed, and usually, with all due respect, it's not good art. Usually it's 47,000 llamas in pixels wearing like toupees, and it just is the kind of art that you have no interest in, and they somehow feel like it's okay to just drop that. I'd like to help encourage people to stop doing that, because I don't ever want to look at something and roll my eyes, especially if it's something that someone worked on and they care about. And experiences like that make you wonder that, like, why are you showing me this? I don't want to see this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a good call out. As it may sound cruel to some, definitely know the stage you're in. Read the room. I usually host like panel talks. I do have on different days I do open the stage. I do know that there are specific spaces that are for, marketing your own project. There are spaces where people want to hear your project, but there are some spaces that are topic specific, and it might not be the best place for you to come on and talk about your project. And it's the best place for you to come on, listen to the other's person's experience, and ask questions about that, or maybe add a supporting message to something they said, but it might not be the best place for you to market yourself. So definitely read the room, because maybe your art is amazing and is what someone's looking for, but you coming up on the stage and shilling when that's not what you were supposed to do, they might that might take away and hinder the possibilities of people looking at your project or looking at your art. So definitely read the room, and when in doubt, always ask, as it's like honestly very polite, and maybe if you ask, someone will allow you to. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
And here I
definitely.
am. Here I am last night, buying pixel art and breeding boys and girls to make pixel kids. Something for everyone, you know.
I really hope that it's a profitable venture for you. I'm going to be rooting for you.
It was amusing, at least. So
Yes, amusing is a good thing. Yeah, definitely. No, but not just spaces though, like feeds. If somebody says, "Hey, you know what? I'd like to talk to you." That's different than, "Hey, drop your art." And if someone says, "Does anyone have any advice about the best way to go about creating this?" is very different than, "Tell me how much your art is and where the link is." Um, and then I actually, one random piece of advice that I've only just recently learned, and I'm telling everybody that possibly wants to hear it, that I've learned a secret about the Twitter algorithm. The Twitter algorithm is this: if you post a link, you are at the bottom of the priority list. You are so low down in the priority list, it is quite likely that people will never even see your tweet. If you attach a file with the link that's actually a media file that's in the tweet, you are at the top of the list and your chances of being seen increase exponentially.
That's
Wow.
good to know.
Yeah, I love that tidbit of information.
thank you for the tips.
You're welcome. I
Sorry,
actually
can I
have to leave.
clarify?
I'm being called to another
Oh,
space. But I wanted to say thank you so much for having me. And I really enjoyed your space. And if anyone has any questions or wants any help, go ahead and DM me. Okay.
Thank you so much for being here. And yes, I'm sure if anyone here has questions, follow her, follow Bay Apes, send them a DM. Honestly, like I'm sure they're looking forward to hear from you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye,
Thanks.
Marianne.
Bye.
90s Babe, I think you are gonna have our next question.
Yeah. I loved what she was sharing about, just not giving up. That resonated so much. And Chanel, I think we would love to hear from you and just learn a little bit more about what your greatest achievements were, and anything you'd like us to know about your journey so far.
thanks. Yeah, absolutely happy to share that. I wanted to just clarify because I Marianne was saying the media file. She means like a PDF or like a video clip. What did she mean by that? And I wanted to ask her and she had to leave.
I'm pretty sure she's talking about like if you attach an image or a video file. I don't know if anybody
Like
else
a
read that differently.
Yeah, like a PNG or a JPEG image.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I didn't know that, so that was new for me to learn. Yeah, so I think in terms of what's my greatest achievement in for the project so far, I am really happy that despite not selling out instantly, which I was honestly, like someone earlier mentioned, like you need to stop comparing yourself and that kind of stuff. I did take quite a bit of a hit when, I mean, it's okay that we didn't sell it instantly, but it wasn't even like 10%. And I was like, oh my god. I then, like, it took me like a week or two before I realized that it was insane expectations that I had put on myself, because in non-NFT spaces, you don't just raise like $1 million business overnight. So um I and then I went back to the community and I realized that no one had thrown any FUD my way despite all of that happening. And I think that's honestly my greatest achievement, because everyone recognized that, I was in it for the long run. And I think, I have tried to be as transparent as I can at every single possible step of the way. And I think I am happy with how I have held up my end of the bargain, which is to be accountable for my actions. And that's why I am pushing through with the relaunch, and I'm pivoting to taking the rest of the project in a direction that I think would help it have longevity, which is to bring it on a pop-up around physical locations in Singapore and onboard more people in the NFT space, show them how to set up their wallets, get them, to just try out the whole process of getting into NFTs, and start building out this online offline experience, something that I experienced in NFT New York last year and I really wanted to bring back to Singapore. So yeah, I think greatest achievement is not being flooded, and then also making sure that I am accountable. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because I know you're speaking about you're talking about doing a lot of education pieces, and I'm kind of right there with you. I've done a lot of educational videos, but I do have a lot of friends and family that are not even in the crypto space, and they're asking me like, how do I buy your NFTs? They're trying to figure it all out. So it's like it's actually a little bit more than just setting up a wallet, because it's like you have to get money into that wallet. So
Yeah.
have you done some educational pieces on, like, getting it from your bank to the wallet?
No, I have not, because that's as in like that's the plans like down the road, and right now I'm focused on making sure that more people know about the project first. But I completely agree with you on that front. There is like I think the fastest route to um kind of getting or recruiting help on this is partnering up with people who have the skills to do that. So, not the skills, sorry, the resources to do that. So, for example, I have a partnership with DeFi Singapore. So, it's an organization in Singapore that runs their own social media channels and their own workshops to teach people about DeFi. So, like, I have so when people come in and ask me like, oh, how do I do this? Then I send them in the direction of DeFi SG, and then the DeFi SG guys would take over to kind of like teach them how to do that. And then for the events that I've mentioned, recently a VC linked me up with a team that is building a multi-chain wallet in Singapore. So I think I have a meeting with them like next week. And I want to like invite some of these partners to work with me on the events so that we can outsource, the different parts of the educational journey to different teams. And I think that would make everybody's life more manageable because it is like a journey for someone who's absolutely into the space. Number one, you need to understand crypto. Number two, you need to not be scared that you'll get scammed. Number three, you need to know uh like don't ever share your seed phrase. Then number four, you need to kind of like tell them like how to look up for scammy NFTs. Oh my gosh, there's like so many topics to cover, right? So I think what I've learned in the NFT space is like collaboration with many partners gets the job done better than just trying to take everything on yourself. So I think where I would chip into this effort is providing a vehicle, which is NFTs, like cute NFTs, to kind of like bring people in to show them that it's actually not so scary after all. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Oh, I love it. I feel like your toast will definitely do a great job at that. I mean, they're so cute. And I mean, you
Thank
definitely
you.
just get like a I want to be involved when you see them. So I love it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and if you ladies want to check out the inspiration behind the toast, just search Gudetama, which is Gudetama. It's by the same company that designs Hello Kitty, and I love Gudetama. And someone put me in touch with a Japanese meme project earlier, and I told them Gudetama is the inspiration. They're like, "Oh yeah, Gudetama's super popular." So yeah, it just reminded me like how different markets have different interests. So that was very nice to hear. Yeah. Um, I do want to learn a little bit more about Binance Smart Chain actually. If Crypto Girlfriend, you don't mind sharing a little bit for everyone here, because I've always been on like Ethereum NFTs, so I don't really know so much about like other chains.
Yeah, and when you were just saying that about the DeFi organization that helps people get onto, DeFi in general, it got me thinking what resources are already out there. And I know Binance has Binance Academy, and they do a lot of really good how-tos on there. And I'm probably going to create a video today that I'll probably finish at least by tomorrow, just on some of these things that we were just talking about, so I can show my friends and family that aren't even on crypto how do they even buy my NFTs. Because yeah, I have people coming in Discord that are Ethereum. They're used to the Ethereum NFTs. So I've been trying to educate them on how to even set up Binance Smart Chain. And so in MetaMask, you can also use MetaMask for the Binance Smart Chain. And there's a website called rpc.info. And if you go to this website, you can just click on the different networks, AVAX, Matic, whatever your network you're trying to set up, and it will just automatically add it to your MetaMask, because Binance Smart Chain doesn't come programmed into MetaMask automatically like Ethereum is. And a lot of these other smaller chains don't either. So, I mean, that's one thing. First, you need to set up the network in your MetaMask. And then some of the other people were like, well, how do I get BNB, which is Binance Native Token, which is the gas fee like Ethereum. And so there are some bridges. Like if you don't want to do it through an exchange like Binance, there are some bridges that you can bridge ETH right into BNB for the Binance Smart Chain. And I found one called changenow.io, and it allows you to change Ethereum into various different tokens on various different networks. So I think those are good starting points. But I need to go a bit further, because I have some friends and family that like aren't even on crypto or have never even used like DeFi. They may have bought like some Bitcoin or Ethereum on Coinbase or something, but yeah, I need to go even more rudimentary here.
I'd love to see the video after you've made it as well.
I was
I'm
just gonna
definitely
say like
interested.
you should totally share the video so that like we can share it with our networks, and we don't do like replicated work, because it's a lot of effort to make the educational video.
Yeah, I did make one about a year ago just on how to set up Binance Smart Chain manually in MetaMask, which you can also do. And I have one of those on my YouTube, but this was way easier just to click on the buttons through that rpc.info site. Trying to make it simple for everybody here.
Yeah, I think that would really help. I will go check it out. I had to move all my money out of Binance, not a lot by the way, just like a little bit, because I think like Singapore shut it down, which sucked. But yeah, we'll go and explore if I can actually get Binance NFTs, even though we can't put fiat into Binance from Singapore anymore. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have to use Binance.us because I'm in the US, so I can't use regular Binance. And there were challenges. Like I couldn't even download initially right to the Binance Smart Chain. I was only on the Binance chain, and you had to use like a separate wallet to swap chains. It was just such a pain in the butt.
Oh my gosh, we are so early. We're gonna look back at this in like 5 years or 10 years and be like, can you believe we had to do that?
Yeah, I mean, already the steps I have to take to get
Yeah.
money into Binance Smart Chain are less than they were over a year ago. That was like a whole process.
Oh my gosh. 90s babes. So in 10 years you can make a collection about women in this era and the traits can be like a whole bunch of different chains. Okay, never mind, that sounds really lame, but I'm just saying like this is gonna be a whole era that we're gonna look on and be like, can't believe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
I want to add one last question for us here, and actually we can just go around before adding any speakers. So let's do like a lightning round. And the question is, what is one thing you're looking forward to in the Web3 space this year? And we can start with Crypto Girlfriend.
Okay, so I'm really excited about this marketplace I'm building with my developers called Collection Capital. And, you know, some of these other chains don't have a real robust marketplace like OpenSea, like on Ethereum. And even OpenSea has its limitations as well. But it was really cool because I'm in Telegram on the BSC Gems Telegram, which has been like the premier Binance Smart Chain Telegram for over a year. It has about 10,000 members in it. And people were asking me the other day, this weekend, like, well, is your marketplace going to have this? Or is your marketplace going to have that? And I'm like, you know what? Why don't you all just tell me right now what you would really want in a marketplace? And I will like take notes and try to make it happen. So it was really cool because I was like asking the Binance Smart Chain community what you wanted. And it really is really cool, and everybody's starting to look forward to it, not just myself.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I was shilling you the other day talking about the marketplace. I've only met one other lady that is building a marketplace, and she's doing it with Rarible. I had her up here like 2 weeks ago. I think you were here too. So
Yes.
proud. I'm like telling everyone, I'm like, my friend's building a marketplace on BSC. Have you heard about that? So I'm your main supporter here.
Love you.
Love you too. 90s babe, tell us, that's one thing you're looking forward to in the Web3 space this year.
Yeah. Oh my God. One thing I mean, honestly, there's so much, so it's hard to narrow it down. But honestly, what I am most excited about right now is just seeing how many women-led projects, women artists are coming into the space and really finding their way here, with all of the women-led collections that are recently selling out and the support that we're seeing for women in NFT. It's really exciting being able to see people, come into the space and find financial freedom, getting to do something they love and leave an impact on the world. It's something I'm really passionate about, something I'm personally like so excited to be involved with, and to get to be a part of. So, I definitely think I'm excited to see what all of the amazing women and men in the space are going to bring this next year. I think last year we really made some big changes, got to get back to some amazing organizations through NFTs, and I'm just excited to see where that takes us.
That is an amazing answer. I'm definitely bullish on like what everyone is going to be doing, men, women, non-binary, anyone, right? Like it's truly an amazing place where there is so much creativity, there is so much progressiveness. Like I'm so hyped for this. Chandel, tell us a little bit more about what are you bullish on this Web3 space this year?
Many things off the top of my head, and it is the blend of offline and online experiences of how we interact with NFTs. I say this because I think, a couple more cycles of COVID being mutated, hopefully we can start reaching a more endemic status across the world, like by next year or something like that. And, more markets start to open up. So then I think rather than everyone being behind their screens, they would want to come out and experience events that, we haven't really been able to do at scale or travel like for the last 2 years. So I'm interested to see how that affects how Web3 builders organize work. I mean, because we're very used to working remotely the last 2 years, but when we are allowed to go back to what we could do before the pandemic, I think that would have an impact on how we organize ourselves. So I would like to see the impact on DAOs. I would like to see how NFT brands start to create experiences both online and offline, and that's why I want to start introducing some offline elements to Tasty Toasties, because I foresee that the metaverse bubble will pop at some point. There are too many metaverses being built. Then while people are kind of trying to build the bridges across metaverses, all of these brands will need to find like a home or a space outside of it, while like investor money is trying to recoup and rebuild from the winners after the bubble burst. So yeah, I'm just really interested to see the impact of all of these trends on builders. I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that totally made sense. And then for me, one of the exciting things I'm looking forward this year is just to continue meeting amazing people, as I've been meeting so many wonderful ladies and men, and just like everyone in the space has been absolutely amazing. I'm very lucky. I haven't really had any bad experiences. I love the educational aspect. I've been learning so much, and planning to learn way more. So if you have any educational resources you think I should have or my community should have, please send them over, because our mission is to empower but also to educate. And there are so many amazing resources out there, and we definitely want to learn more. I think seeing the adoption of more women joining the Web3 space, creating their own projects. I'm sure a lot of here have heard the statistics, but women only account for 5% of the sales in the Web3 space. That is a very important number to know, as there are, I believe, a 16% account for art, but only 5% account for sales. And so I definitely want to empower more women to join, to be project founders, not only artists for a project, but to be founders themselves. And I think the power of community is something that can really push more women to do this. So that's something I'm very bullish on. And then before adding some of our requests that are on the floor, I just wanted to announce a very big thing, which is CryptoTechWomen will have our pre-sale mint. We already established a date. It will be on February 24th and 25. We will be doing 48-hour of pre-sale, as we want to make sure that there are no gas wars for anyone. You can do the pre-sale mint at your own time and space. Super conscious about the gas part. So February 24th and 25th will be our pre-sale. Our public sale will start on February 26th. All of the hours is 9 a.m. for the pre-sale, 9 a.m. for the public. You will be seeing a post about this. And if you're wondering, why should you join CryptoTechWomen? Why should you join our community? We definitely want anyone here that believes in the same mission as we do, which is empower, educate. So after our mint is live, we're going to be working on creating an educational platform, a bootcamp geared towards the Web3 space, where our token holders will have exclusive access to. If you're really into fun art, we will have a royalties club where there's a special trait that will add 15 lucky token holders to this royalties club, where they will share 30% of all secondary sales royalties. So 30% divided between those 15. I think the best part will be seeing what special trait that is. We have a community wallet. We want you to be here with us, build for us, build with us. So that could be in a type of utility, could be art, obviously airdrops, giveaways, looking forward to doing in real life events with our community, and always open to suggestions and to learn more. So feel free to message us if you have any suggestions. Okay, and then we have
Super
about
excited. Super excited for that. I'm glad you have a date now.
Yes.
1 month, and I definitely didn't want it to do anything before having a set plan on some of the things. Some decisions will come as a community as we are adopting some of the DAO patterns where some decisions will be community voted. And, I think the only way forward is with community. But yes, super excited to set a date. And yes, I hope you'll join our space. I hope you'll join our community. You follow all of the ladies that has been here. And yes, I'm so hyped. And then, so we have about, let's say, 15 minutes. I see some requests, want to bring you up here. If you do have a question, raise your hand, or if you have something to add to the topics we've been talking about today. Men FTs, how are you?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for bringing me up. It's been amazing listening to people that can honestly set an example. I feel like I'm in so many spaces with a lot of men who are doing well, and it's just really great to have people that you can sort of aspire to and know that they're also really excited for all the women-led projects that are coming up this year. MenFTs being one of them. So we are a female-led group of women that have been in the NFT space for a while now. And one thing that we noticed kind of right away was there were a lot of projects that focused on the female form, but weren't necessarily led by females. There were a lot of men that were creating art about women. So we thought that we would flip the script and create art from women focused on attractive men. So that's where MenFTs came from. And we are all collectors ourselves. So when we were developing our roadmap, we were really focused on what would be an attractive project for us to buy into, one that has good community, good art, but also ample opportunity to make money. So we have a lot of crypto giveaways that we're scheduling. We are planning on buying 69 NFTs from our holders because, like us, I think a lot of people are artists and collectors in the space, and we want to support that sort of symbiotic relationship. But one big question that we've had in terms of strategy is, especially since we bought into a couple projects that had really slow minting periods. And honestly, I mean, maybe we let the anxiety get to us a bit, but it can be kind of stressful to slowly watch the numbers tick up when you've spent like $900 on something, and you really want the project to take off. So I'm wondering if you have any advice in terms of what you've talked about with your own projects or what you've seen be successful. Is it better to do incremental releases, or to do something like release it all, maybe burn whatever doesn't end up selling, or just let the mint play out and let it run its course? Do you have any insight into that?
Yes,
I
I'm
was gonna
good
call on
person.
you. Go
Yes,
ahead.
I think I'm the only one here who has launched. I don't know for sure, but I launched in November and I ran into a huge problem after on day 2 when everything just suddenly stopped. And I'm going to give you the same advice that people who have sold out projects gave me when they first heard what I wanted to do. Start with a smaller supply. 6969 is quite a lot. Start with a smaller supply because it's better if you say that your project is sold out regardless of the supply that it is, and then you can always do collection 2 or collection 3 after that. And the people who minted your original like 100, 500, 1000, whatever it is, they are like your Genesis holders, so then they can have better privileges in the future. So start smaller. And I think the reason that this applies this year is because there is a lot more supply of NFT projects now than there was like in August of last year. So you have a lot more competition than the projects like Cool Cats, you know, when they started in June last year. There was like more demand than there was supply, but I think right now it's kind of flipped. So I would suggest save your investment and do the first one smaller, even though it's like, oh man, you really want like a huge sold out collection. Trust me, I have been there. Um and I'm not like a teenager, and this is like my first business. Like I've been working in like corporate for like 5 years before doing this, and I'm an overachiever for sure. Like I like so having to deal with that, it was tough, but it was a good reminder that, you know, like most people's first businesses don't succeed. I mean, even if you look at like Klon from Cool Cats, he was working on Cool Cats for like how many years before it got picked up. So if this is your first one, like uh mitigate your expectations and start smaller, so at least when all 100 or all 1000 gets sold out, you can wear that badge proudly, and no one will be like, oh my god, you haven't minted out the rest of your collection. So that would be my advice. And the second piece of advice is also like make it a little bit cheaper, and you can always increase the royalties to cover that, because I think if you want to incentivize movement on the secondary market, you have to be very careful with how you plan your supply and your price. Yeah, so make sure that you study enough projects in the period of time that you are about to launch before you do that, because the NFT market trends keep changing like every 2-3 weeks. A couple of weeks ago it was Doodle derivatives, now it's Irene Dao. So who knows what's gonna be the trend next month. So yeah, be willing to pivot at the last minute if necessary, so that you can say that you're successful when you launch. Yeah, hope that helps.
That helps a ton. And I really appreciate that kind of advice, because I feel like so much in these spaces you hear a lot like we're all gonna make it, and like we're the originators of this space and it's all gonna go well. But the reality is that is definitely not always the case. And so just to be strategic and smart and not optimistic, but not overly optimistic in a way that, causes you to make a wrong move is really, really valuable. So thank you so much for that advice. I appreciate all your honesty and your experience.
I also want to add a different take to it. So I think Chanel's advice is great, and I've also heard it a lot. But I also want to encourage you to go big. If you want to go big, like I want to encourage you to follow what you feel it's right for you, because what I've seen with successful projects is that they prepare really well. And what I mean by that is they grow their community. They go beyond Twitter, right? Like we saw Nudi's community success this week. And something that Nudi did very well was that they were on TikTok, right? Like they were creating all this content on TikTok, got so many organic views. They did mention to me that most of the joinings came from TikTok. So they had like a vanity link so they could track it, like a link tree. They had so many people join from their TikTok accounts. So, create content, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure to grow your community. You will know how engaged your community is based on the engagement in your Discord, right? Or your engagement on your Twitter page. So don't get discouraged and say, okay, like maybe I won't do a big one because I might fail, but motivate yourself and say, I'm trying to go this big. So I need to make sure that I do all of these things to get the voice out for people to know about my project, to people to know about my mission. Um, And if you notice that maybe you are pushing this project and not a lot of people are joining and you are getting views, they're just not interested, look through your roadmap and see what are you giving back, because people want to know that they are in a community and they're supporting a project that has longevity. So make sure that your plan encourages people to join because they can see your vision in the long term and not only a short term out. What else? Um, because at that point, yes, like let's say it sells out, but if there's no longevity in the community, there's no longevity in the project, what will be secondary sales like? There's nothing to look forward to. The only thing to look forward to was the mint date. Now that happened. Now what? So definitely, if you want to go big, still do it. Just make sure that you have a solid plan, a solid mission. You're giving back. You're giving people a reason to join your community. You're giving them a reason of why you will be successful and what you will do once you are. So I just wanted to add like that second take to it.
No, I think that's really insightful. One thing I've heard people say is don't look at the mint date as the end of your project, but the beginning, and to have that sort of perspective in mind, because people are going to be in this for the long haul. You mint something and it's on the blockchain forever. So treat it that way. And I also think it's great to bring up the nudie community point. Like they sold out in 22 minutes or something like that. And I was just posting on TikTok before I joined the space because of them. So they're a really good precedent to follow.
Yeah, and definitely like I've looked at myself the same way where I'm like, okay, am I on TikTok? Am I on Instagram? Like, what am I doing to get more eyes outside of Twitter? So you know, people do have success in the space. So look into what did they do to get that success. Like, did they just decided they were going to mint and post it one day and they sold out? Probably not. So just like some people do with like historical pieces and historical people, study that person that you would like to be like and see what steps did they take to get there. And that will give you an insight on what you should be doing as well.
Awesome. Well, we'll be watching you guys closely, and we wish you all the luck with your projects. And thanks so much for hosting this space. Are you allowing people to post on the Jumbotron here today?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, and thanks for all the advice, ladies.
Of course. So it is 9:54 and we have to do some parting words, which is the saddest part of the day. Chanel, would you like to start with some parting words?
Sure. Number one, thank you for having me, and really appreciate this space that's been carved out. It's my first time on this space with you, and I would love to come back more. I completely agree with what you said like earlier, that looking at what other people have been doing, that's really important. So I spend a lot of effort marketing my project within Singapore and not doing so many Twitter spaces, partially because so many Twitter spaces, like it's almost 2 a.m. now, so time difference. But definitely would recommend that. And NFTs, by the way, it's really cute. Would just go study what projects do. And okay, parting words. I love absolutely what was just communicated about minting date is day one and not the end. That is 1,000% true. So regardless of what happens, as long as you have like a strategy for all the different scenarios that could potentially play out, you'll be fine regardless of what happens. So go do what you think is best, in your circumstances, and don't be afraid to pivot when necessary. And I would like to pass on these I hope sentiments of courage for anyone who's listening here today, that if you have something that you have conviction for and you have a vision for, there is no better time now in the NFTs. There's no better time like in history right now than like in this web3 space to pursue that passion. You don't have to quit your job to do it. You can do it after work. You can Just dedicate like 1 hour a day. I think over time it's consistency that will get you somewhere, and all you need is just a little bit of faith in yourself and you'll get there. So that's my parting words.
I love that. Thank you so much. And I love that you are highlighting the pivoting part. I think that is the one part that sometimes we don't think about, like, what is plan B? So thank you for highlighting that. And I'm going to support you through everything that you do. And thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I know it's literally 2 a.m. your time. And at that time, I think I would already be sleeping. So I'm so grateful that you were able to join us. 90s Babe, so excited to be doing more spaces with you. Do you have some parting words?
Yeah, I first off, I am just so grateful to have been invited to this space today and to get to co-host up here with you, wonderful ladies. Um, Parting words. Yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to summarize like everything that was shared today was so good. I mean, everyone's experiences and just getting to hear from a bunch of other talented ladies in this space, that we all are going through the same thing and sharing those experiences, whether that's the imposter syndrome or, just the ability to be able to make a change with the art that we're putting out in the world, both for ourselves and for our communities. And yeah, I don't know. I'm really, really excited for the future that all of these projects hold. Men NFT, I am so excited to look more into your project. Excuse me, Men FTs. There we go. Um, but yeah, thanks again for having me and looking forward to seeing everyone on Sunday.
Yay. I'm so excited. And Friday. You missed Friday.
Yes, and Friday. That's right.
And Friday. Crypto Girlfriend, give us your
Thank,
parting words.
thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that you do these spaces, Gigi. It's fantastic to be able to learn about all of the creative things people are doing in this space. That's why I've loved interviewing people over the past year, different projects. Now I'm focusing more on specifically NFTs. But yeah, I learn something new every time I do one of these things. So it's very cool to continue to learn, lifelong learner. I'm sure we're all in that same boat. And, it's just a good time and I look forward to doing more of these.
Me too. I'm so excited to continue to grow with all of you. I honestly, if you're in the audience and you have not met anyone in the Web3 space, I encourage you to DM someone today. Like, if you're both in this space, you already know that you have something in common, right? Or if you're in my community and you see other people in general, you already have something in common. Make a friend, because 90s Babe and I, we connected just through a DM. Chanel, the same thing. Crypto Girlfriend, I don't even know how we connected, but ever since we connected, we literally just talk every day. So definitely make a friend. It's easier than you think. It's definitely scary to send that first DM, but it's worth it. And the worst thing that can happen is that maybe the person doesn't see it because it's in filter request. Don't take it personally. And yeah, I just want to thank you all so much for being here. I'm waiting on the POAPs to get to me, but as soon as I have them, I will be sending them out. If you don't hear from me in the next 24 hours, DM me, join my community, and let me know you are here. I want to give you a pre-sale spot. And Crypto Girlfriend and I, we have some pre-sale spot giveaways as well. So I'm sure she will extend the same invitation. And yeah, make sure to follow everyone that's been here. Follow us. We want to grow with you. We want to learn from you too. And if anyone in the audience wants to ever be on stage with us, send me a DM because I would like to book you in advance for that. And yes, thank you so much. Hope you all have an amazing day.
Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your
Thank
day.
you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.